I'm expecting a child, and the father is my spouse, Alex. However, I suffered a miscarriage, an event triggered by Alex's first love. Just 2 weeks after falling into a coma, I was presented with Alex's divorce settlement the moment I regained consciousness. Everyone believed I wouldn't consent, but I signed it decisively. Damn it, Alex isn't as gentle as a young, attractive man, nor is he as attentive as one either. Isn't it wonderful to incarcerate that scoundrel and the bitch, all while having 5 billion ween at my disposal to spend recklessly? I was ecstatic and had to sign immediately. When Sarah escorted me downstairs, I instinctively reached out to protect my stomach. There was my baby just 4 weeks along. But with such a high staircase, my protective gesture was futile. I began bleeding the moment I fell and lost the baby after being rushed to the hospital. I also injured my head and remained in a coma for 2 weeks. When I finally opened my eyes, my best friend Luna was there. Seeing that I had awakened, Luna was overjoyed and immediately asked, "Mia, you're awake. How are you feeling? Where does it hurt?" I pointed to my head and groaned. "It really hurts." Witnessing my pain, Luna became extremely distressed and couldn't help but curse. "It's all that damn Alex, a heartless scoundrel. I advised you not to marry him, but you just wouldn't listen. Now look what's happened." I interrupted Luna in shock. "Wait, who's Alex? When did I get married? I'm single." Luna stared at me bewildered. "You don't remember Alex, or our marriage? And you don't recall all the ways Alex bullied you for Olivia?" I shook my head confused. Luna couldn't believe it and continued explaining how my husband, Alex, had betrayed me. She revealed that Alex married me because I resembled his first love, Olivia. Olivia and Alex had a passionate romance in the past, but separated for reasons unknown. Later, when Olivia returned, Alex brought her back as his secretary. The two of them were inseparable, acting like a loving couple. Luna also mentioned that Olivia had been subtly tormenting me, flaunting the jewelry Alex bought in front of me and calling Alex away whenever she pleased. Olivia even sent me a photo of her and Alex on a boat to provoke me. Luna added that Alex had assaulted me for Olivia and proposed divorce, but I refused and earnestly begged Alex not to abandon me. I listened to this unbelievable story with wide eyes. Is this still me? Am I so lacking in principles? How could I not let go despite Alex's affair and domestic violence? Was I out of my mind? Yes, I was out of my mind. I was so obsessed with Alex. I advised you to divorce, but you wouldn't listen. You even said you'd die without Alex. I don't know what kind of magic potion this scoundrel Alex gave you to make you so dependent on him. The more Luna spoke, the angrier she became, continuing to berate Alex. At that moment, Alex, accompanied by a lawyer, forcefully opened the door to my hospital room. Luna, facing the door, was using every harsh word she could think of to curse Alex and Olivia. Compared to Luna's fury and indignation, I was utterly confused and didn't feel involved. Suddenly, I noticed two men standing at the door, staring at Luna and me. I asked irritably, "Who are you? Did you come to the wrong place?" When Luna turned around and saw Alex and the lawyer, she stopped her tirade. I watched as the tall, handsome man entered with a stern expression. He looked down at me on the hospital bed and said, "Mia, I didn't expect you to be so vindictive. This matter can't be resolved by pretending to be in a coma for 2 weeks. I'll give you a choice. Go and apologize to Olivia immediately. Ask her to forgive you." The man was attractive but exuded a dangerous aura. His eyes were cold and unfeeling, and his words were harsh. Without Luna's introduction, I could tell he was my deceitful husband. "Alex." I twitched the corner of my mouth. "What if I don't apologize?" The man's thin lips slightly parted. "If you don't apologize, we'll get a divorce." After saying this coldly, the man resembling a lawyer immediately opened his briefcase and handed me a divorce agreement. My head was still a bit dizzy, and I instinctively reached out to take the divorce agreement. After reading a few lines, a headache intensified. "What does this say?" The lawyer responded, "After the divorce, Alex will give you the cash equivalent of 10% of the company's shares. You can also choose any of the real estate properties and luxury cars under his name." "Wait a minute," I interrupted the lawyer. "How much is 10% of the company's shares worth in cash?" "About 5 billion ween," the lawyer replied. When he finished speaking, I was stunned in disbelief. 5 billion wen? Was I dizzy and misheard? I turned to look at Luna and repeated, Is 5 billion win real? Luna, there might be something wrong with my head, but my ears should be fine, right? Of course it's real. Before Luna could respond, the lawyer continued. After the divorce, Alex will give you the cash equivalent of 10% of the company's shares. You can also choose any of the real estate and luxury cars under his name. Alex frowned, looking down at me with disdain. His expression showed extreme impatience. After the lawyer confirmed, I immediately reached out. Then what are we waiting for? Sign it? Where's the pen? Hurry up and give it to me. Excitement surged through me. 5 billion yen. My goodness, I never imagined having so much money. Surely this amount would be enough for me in this life, the next, and beyond. Getting so much money from a divorce? What a top-tier gentleman. What good deed did I do to deserve such a favorable treatment? I was so thrilled that tears welled up in my eyes as I looked at the handsome man with the stern face in front of me. He wasn't at all as hateful as Luna described. I thought he was the best man in the world. I eagerly reached out to grab Alex's hand, wanting to express my gratitude for his generosity. But before my hand could touch Alex, he recoiled as if I were a plague. I wasn't embarrassed by being rejected so directly. For the sake of money, I could give up everything, including dignity. I quickly grabbed the pen from the lawyer and signed my name at the back of the divorce agreement. Seeing me sign so willingly, a look of disbelief flashed in Alex's eyes. Here, I discarded the pen, still unable to believe it was real. I bit my finger, the pain making my tears flow. The pain reassured me that I wasn't dizzy and it wasn't a dream. I happily hugged Luna. I have money. Woohoo! Luna, I have money. After I'm discharged from the hospital, I'll take you to a luxurious place and hire 100 young, attractive men to sing with us. While I was hugging Luna and fantasizing about young men, I didn't notice that the man supposed to be my husband clearly had a tense expression on his face. I was too excited to care about his expression and continued talking to Luna. By the way, do you know where Ethan, the popular guy from our school, is now? Yes, he's in the city. I had a crush on him in school. With 5 billion yen, do you think I can hire him? He had 8-pack abs when he played basketball. I secretly admired them. And he has a V-shaped torso. It must be wonderful to be with him on a boat. The more I talked, the more excited I became. My infatuation with Ethan completely made me forget about the two irrelevant people standing beside us. Luna didn't expect me to be so thrilled. She glanced at Alex, who was looking at me with a stern face and hesitated to speak. Only then did I realize they hadn't left yet. Since I had already signed the divorce agreement, shouldn't the matter be settled? I looked at them unhappily. Gentlemen, I've already signed the divorce agreement. Do you have anything else to do? If not, please leave. Alex gave me a cold look and turned around to leave. The lawyer followed behind with the divorce agreement. With no outsiders in the room, I grabbed Luna's hand and continued to ask about Ethan. Luna sighed. He's already left. Mia, if you're just trying to provoke Alex, it won't work. He won't care. No, why would I provoke him? I'm serious. After we're discharged from the hospital, we'll go to a luxurious place to find young men. No, let's find Ethan first and see if he can fall in love with me. If he likes me, I won't look for young men. If he doesn't, then I'll seek them out. At first, Luna thought I was pretending, but seeing that I showed no sadness at all, only excitement, she immediately called the doctor to examine me. The result showed everything was normal except the doctor mentioned I had a mild concussion. And I could clearly remember everything that happened around me except all the entanglements with Alex. I completely forgot about the mistress, the pregnancy, and the passionate love. My past with Alex was separately stored in my memory and excluded. I completely forgot about the mistress, the pregnancy, and the passionate love. My past with Alex was separately stored in my memory and excluded. The doctor couldn't explain why I couldn't remember Alex. Luna was worried at first, but seeing that I acted as if nothing had happened and insisted on being discharged, she had no choice but to accompany me out of the hospital. Luna took me back to the house where I lived with Alex. It was an ultra-luxurious villa. When I entered and saw the opulent decorations, I stared wide-eyed and then immediately shook my head. Although the villa was decorated in a high-end style, it wasn't to my taste. The wedding house didn't align with my preferences, indicating that I wasn't happy in this marriage. Fortunately, Alex was generous enough to grant me so much money in the divorce. Thinking of the money, I felt genuinely happy. I couldn't wait to ask Luna, I wonder when the divorce money will be transferred to me. Luna replied, I think it will be after we get the divorce certificate. After all, there's a 30-day cooling off period now. Never mind, let's pack our things first. To be honest, I still couldn't believe that I had been married until now. After all, I thought that if I got married, I would definitely marry a man I loved. I didn't like that man with the stern face at all, as if I owed him something. Why on earth did I marry such a man back then? I muttered to myself and went upstairs to the bedroom with Luna. When I saw the wedding photos hanging in the bedroom, I finally believed that I had been married. In the wedding photos, I was wearing a wedding dress and cuddling up to Alex, smiling so sweetly. Looking at these photos, I felt they were an eyesore. What I hated most in my life were men who cheated. How could I have married such a scoundrel who had an affair during our marriage? Fortunately, I didn't remember him. Otherwise, I would have been furious, right? I took down the wedding photos of Alex and me, opened the frames, and cut the photos in half with scissors. Luna wanted to stop me at first, but seeing that I was doing it with great enthusiasm, she had to let me continue. On the bedside table and dressing table in the wedding room, there were photos of Alex and me everywhere. I cut all the photos I could find in half, then opened the wardrobe and packed up all my clothes and jewelry. I didn't like this villa. Alex's lawyer had just said that I could choose any of Alex's villas at will. I planned to pack my things and move to another place to live while excitedly packing clothes and jewelry with Luna. The sound of a car approached outside. Soon footsteps echoed on the stairs. Luna and I turned our heads and saw Alex and another unfamiliar woman appear outside. The woman had a bandage on her hand, was quite pretty, and was closely following Alex. Seeing the messy photos cut in half on the ground, a look of shock flashed across Alex's face. He roared at me, "What are you doing?" His voice was so loud that it startled me. I took a few steps back and looked at him warily. So fierce? Luna said that this cheating man had assaulted me for his first love, Olivia. Wouldn't he hit me now? My small body couldn't withstand his beating. I quickly hid behind Luna. Seeing me hide, Alex roared again. Seeing that he didn't intend to rush over and hit me, I straightened my neck. Why are you shouting? I'm not deaf. Since we've already signed the divorce agreement, the photos should be separated, so that our future partners won't feel uncomfortable when they see them. I've already put mine away. You can put yours away yourself or ask someone else to do it. Alex's face became even uglier when he heard what I said. He glared at me viciously. Mia, you've got guts. Damn it, you've got guts. The woman with the bandage beside him then spoke in a delicate voice. Miss Mia, you've really misunderstood me and Alex. Alex and I are just working together. We're completely innocent. You can't divorce Alex just because of suspicion and misunderstanding. I stared at the woman speaking. It seemed she should be Alex's first love, Olivia. She was quite elegant and looked so pitiful that men would surely like and want to protect her. This Olivia didn't appear to be a bad woman at first glance. However, Luna wouldn't lie to me. Since she could seduce someone else's husband, one could imagine how terrible her character was. I said sincerely, Miss, it's a bit too early for you to assert your dominance. I haven't got the divorce certificate yet. If you're so close to Alex like this, others will call you a mistress. For the sake of your and Alex's reputations, I suggest you keep a certain distance. Mia, what nonsense are you talking about? Do you think everyone is as corrupt as you believe? Alex roared at me. I was startled by his fierce gaze. This man seemed to dislike me intensely. He's my cash cow now. I mustn't offend him. Otherwise, if I make him angry and he doesn't give me the money, won't all my efforts be in vain? I immediately changed my expression and said apologetically, Mr. Alex, please don't be angry. I just said it casually. If you're unhappy, I won't mention it again. By the way, I'll finish packing soon and leave after that. Hearing what I said, Alex's gaze became even more terrifying, as if he was going to devour me. I shivered, not knowing which sentence I had said wrong. Although I was scared, thinking of the 5 billion yuan, I really didn't want to give up. Alex, when will you give me the 5 billion yuan? Alex looked at me with a stern expression and didn't say a word. I didn't know what he meant. Wouldn't he go back on his word? A cheating man surely has no integrity. If he goes back on his word, won't I suffer a great loss? I just searched the cloakroom and found that the bags, jewelry, and clothes I usually wore were all very valuable. Even if the cheating man goes back on his word and doesn't give me the 5 billion yen, I can still get a lot of money by selling these clothes, bags, and jewelry. Worried that the cheating man would go back on his word and adhering to the principle of getting as much as I could, I immediately called the moving company without hesitation. An hour later, 3 large trucks arrived at the villa's entrance, and the workers from the moving company began busily moving my clothes, shoes, and bags. The jewelry was too precious, so I didn't dare let the movers handle it. Instead, Luna and I moved it ourselves. After transferring all the items to Luna's apartment, I was exhausted. I was still thinking about the 5 billion yuan promised by the deceitful man. Even though I was lying exhausted in Luna's apartment, I still didn't forget to ask her, Luna, won't he go back on his word? Luna didn't know either. Never mind, let's move out first. Don't you have a crush on Ethan? We'll go find Ethan tomorrow. He's a great lawyer. If Alex dares to go back on his word, we'll ask Ethan to help you with the divorce lawsuit. That night, I slept soundly in Luna's apartment. In the wedding room where I used to live with Alex, Alex was sitting alone, looking at the shredded photos of himself on the ground with a gloomy face. Alex couldn't believe that Mia would willingly divorce him. Mia's love for him had reached an abnormal level. She monitored everything he did in real time and didn't give him any space or freedom. He and Olivia were just in an ordinary working relationship. He helped Olivia because he thought she was pitiful. But Mia went crazy and caused a scene with him, claiming that he and Olivia were having ambiguous kisses. She also said that he and Olivia went on a boat together. What he hated most was being slandered. Since Mia didn't believe him and wouldn't listen to his explanations, he simply managed Olivia according to Mia's accusations. He didn't expect Mia to lose her mind and create trouble for Olivia. Olivia was pushed downstairs by Mia and broke her arm. Mia must have known she had done something wrong. She actually pretended to be in a coma for 2 weeks in the hospital. To avoid responsibility, she even pretended not to know him, and she agreed to the divorce so readily. Alex would never believe that Mia would give up on him. She must be retreating to advance. She signed the agreement readily and deliberately mentioned Ethan, his rival in love, to provoke him. Then she cut up the wedding photos and moved her things away to see if he would stop her. Alex sneered. Playing tricks with me? Mia's actions are too childish. Alex stood up and made a phone call while walking to inform his assistant. Send over the anniversary gift prepared for my wife. Also, arrange for me to have a midnight snack with Olivia later. I slept until 9 o'clock the next morning in Luna's apartment. When I woke up, I heard Luna swearing. I yawned and went over. It turned out that there was news about my deceitful husband, Alex, having a midnight snack with a woman. The candlelight midnight snack was very romantic, and there was a violinist playing beside them to add to the atmosphere. There was a beautifully packaged gift box on the table. It was said to be a limited edition bracelet from a luxury brand, with only 3 released globally. I clicked my tongue. How romantic and luxurious. Luna was fuming. Do you know what that gift is? It's the wedding anniversary gift you had been longing for. That bastard, Alex, actually gave it to Olivia, that disgusting woman. He's really gone too far. I patted Luna's shoulder. Calm down, haven't we already divorced? It's normal for him to give gifts to whoever he wants. Luna was so angry that she blurted out, but it's different when he gives it to Olivia. That bitch killed your child. I looked at Luna in astonishment. Child? Did I have a child with Alex? How old was it? Luna stammered. I continued to ask, did Olivia killing my child also mean killing Alex's child? Doesn't Alex care even if it's intentional homicide? Mia, the child, wasn't born yet. It was just an embryo. You were only 4 weeks pregnant and hadn't had time to tell Alex when Olivia pushed you downstairs and you had a miscarriage. Listening to Luna's story, I couldn't help but reach out to touch my stomach. Was there once a little life here briefly? I couldn't remember everything with Alex, but I knew my temper. If I didn't love someone, I would never have a child for that person. So did I really love Alex that much? But Alex killed our child for another woman? He didn't care about our child, showing how much he hated our relationship. I felt inexplicably sad, not because I remembered something, but because I felt sorrow for the child who died before it was born and whom I had never met. The good mood I had because I could get 5 billion yuan from the divorce vanished instantly. Seeing that I was listless, Luna had to persuade me, the child is gone, and Alex has cheated on you and doesn't love you anymore. This situation is the best now, Mia. Let's look forward and find a man who truly loves you and live a good life. With Luna's persuasion, I felt much better. Alex was so vicious and shameless to me and my child, showing he wasn't a man with a conscience. Even a tiger wouldn't eat its cubs. He could be so heartless as to ignore his own flesh and blood, let alone me, his so-called wife. Last night, I moved several large boxes of jewelry from Alex's place. Those pieces of jewelry were all limited edition and valuable items. I probably wouldn't have any occasion to wear them after the divorce. Since Alex was so protective of the mistress and so heartless, if he went back on his word and took back these pieces of jewelry, all my efforts would be in vain. So, to be safe, I decided to sell all those pieces of jewelry. Luna stared wide-eyed as she watched me move the jewelry to the car. Mia, are you sure you won't regret it? These things are all gifts from Alex to you, and each one has commemorative significance. What if you regret it later when you think about it? What's there to regret? Since I'm divorced, it's useless even if I regret it. I'm only thinking about money now. First, I'll pawn the jewelry, then have a meal, and after that, we'll go find Ethan and catch up. Luna and I went to the jewelry store and sold all those limited edition pieces at a very low price, including the wedding ring on my hand. Luna said that the ring was custom made and that only one would be given in a lifetime. I didn't have time to listen to Luna's muttering. When I heard the offer from the jewelry store, I almost drooled. Those pieces of jewelry were sold for 500 million yuan. I became a somewhat wealthy woman. I happily took Luna to the best five-star hotel in the city for lunch. Unexpectedly, we met Alex and the mistress, Olivia, at the entrance of the hotel. Alex was wearing a white shirt with his coat draped over his arm. There was a faint smile on his face. Compared to his fierce look towards me yesterday, he looked much better when he smiled. Olivia still had her arm in a sling, wearing a limited edition haute couture dress, and in her other hand was the bracelet that was said to be prepared by Alex for me. I took a quick glance at Alex and Olivia and then looked away, walking quickly into the hotel with Luna. Luna and I were waiting for the elevator when Olivia approached with a delicate voice, accompanied by Alex. She actually took the initiative to greet me. "What a coincidence," Luna snorted through her nose, and I smiled and nodded. "Yes, it's quite a coincidence." To avoid unnecessary trouble, I wanted to clarify first that Luna and I decided to come here for dinner spontaneously, not to follow them. Don't think too much about it. Alex had a sour face, and Olivia smiled awkwardly. We all entered the elevator. Coincidentally, the private rooms we reserved were on the same floor and even opposite each other. Luna and I sat down and began ordering the signature dishes, enjoying the meal. Halfway through, I got up and went to the bathroom. After using the toilet, I was washing my hands at the sink when the sound of high heels clicked sharply. A strong fragrance of perfume filled the air. I didn't need to look to know it was Olivia. That perfume smell in the elevator earlier had given me a headache. Olivia stood behind me. She said with a smirk, "Mia, you're quite good at the tactic of retreating to advance, huh?" I turned my head to look at Olivia, not understanding what she meant. "I thought you would make a fuss with Alex about the child's matter." "I didn't expect you could bear it like this. Aren't you supposed to have a bad temper? Your child was pushed down by me and is gone. Haven't you ever thought of taking revenge for her?" I looked at Olivia quietly, not understanding why she came to provoke me at this time. I had already divorced Alex. Wouldn't it be good for her to be happily with Alex? Why did you come looking for trouble? Olivia laughed arrogantly. "I pushed you downstairs that day. I knew you were pregnant and did it on purpose. I just wanted to kill your child. Look, your child is gone, and Alex doesn't care at all. Instead, he stays by my side every day because I broke my arm." She raised her hand triumphantly. "Do you know? There's nothing wrong with my arm. I didn't break it at all. I just pretended a little, and everyone believed it. I'm much more important than you and your child and Alex's heart. Aren't you sad or hateful?" As soon as she finished speaking, I quickly turned around and locked the door. Then I turned my head again, grabbed Olivia's hair, grabbed her hand, and slammed it viciously against the sink. The screams were earth-shattering, and Olivia's cries for help echoed loudly. The sound of kicking the door outside was also thunderous. Along with the sound of kicking, Alex's furious shout rang out. Mia, stop it! Stop it right now! I order you to stop immediately. I didn't stop. I just grabbed Olivia's hair and slammed her arm viciously. Olivia struggled desperately. My face was scratched by her sharp nails and was bleeding profusely. But I didn't pause at all. I kept hitting her arm against the hard sink again and again. The sink was made of granite. When the hotel staff opened the door, Olivia's arm was already disabled. Alex rushed in and saw Olivia's bloody arm and raised his hand to give me a heavy slap. Vicious woman! My ears were ringing, and half of my face was numb. Blood was oozing from the corner of my mouth. I looked at Alex and grinned as if I couldn't feel the pain. Luna rushed in and hugged me. Mia? Mia, being supported by her, I felt at ease. I leaned against Luna's arms and said, I've got my revenge. After saying this, I passed out. When I woke up, it was several hours later. Besides Luna, Ethan was also in the ward. Ethan looked at me with concern. Mia, why are you so foolish? There are countless ways to take revenge. Why did you choose such a way that would hurt yourself badly? I twitched the corner of my mouth. Half of my face was still in pain. Alex had really slapped me hard. I even felt my teeth were loose. He pretended to break his arm and killed my child. Of course, I had to make her truly break her arm to satisfy her. This bitch is so arrogant. I also wanted to beat her to death, but now that her hand is disabled, she's shouting that she'll sue me. Luna's face was full of worry. Alex's lawyer just came to see you and said that they'll sue you for intentional injury. I didn't know how to handle it, so I called Ethan. I said in a cold tone, let them sue. I'm not afraid. At worst, I'll go to jail. Then wouldn't that be just what Olivia wants? Ethan, please help Mia. Luna asked Ethan for my sake, and Ethan nodded. I'll help Mia, don't worry. As long as I'm here, no one can hurt Mia. Hearing what Ethan said, Luna breathed a sigh of relief. At that moment, there was a knock on the door, and Alex and the lawyer entered. Alex stared at me with a stern look while the lawyer explained in a businesslike manner about the seriousness of my intentional injury to Olivia. I didn't say a word. After the lawyer finished, he changed the topic. Miss Olivia is magnanimous. If you're willing to go and apologize in person, the detention can be waived. Detain me then, I said indifferently. I'm waiting to go to jail. Ethan, who hadn't spoken all this time, said, Alex, does he really think I don't dare? I raised my head to look at him and smiled, parting my lips. I know you dare. I don't care. Alex's expression froze slightly, and he was furious. You're so stubborn. Since you want to go to jail, suit yourself. Ethan, who hadn't spoken all this time, said, Alex, whether she goes to jail or not isn't up to you. It's up to the court. What the specific situation is will only be clear after the judge makes a judgment in court. Alex left in a huff, and Ethan got up to pour me a glass of water and comforted me. Don't be afraid. I won't let you go to jail. I said thank you. I wasn't bluffing. I really wasn't afraid. Olivia had bullied me so arrogantly. How could I possibly swallow my anger? Originally, I didn't want to have any conflict with Olivia, but she was asking for trouble herself. She thought I was still the foolish Mia who only had Alex in her heart. She thought my amnesia was just an act, a way to play hard to get to make Alex come back. But I really had amnesia, right? I knew that a cheating man was terrible, heartless, and cold. And I also knew that when a mistress was shameless, it was beyond what normal people could imagine. So when Olivia provoked me, I had already been prepared. I only took action against her because I was ready. I picked up my mobile phone and sent a recording to the number that Olivia often used to provoke me. In Olivia's ward, she was lying on the bed, her face distorted with pain. This time, the pain was real, not feigned. Mia hadn't held back when dealing with her. Olivia's hand was slammed against the sink by Mia again and again. It wasn't just a simple fracture. The bones were shattered into pieces. It's easy to recover from a fracture with surgery, but it's different when the bones are broken into small fragments. Although Alex had found the best doctor for Olivia's surgery and the doctor had tried his best, the damage was irreversible. It was completely impossible for Olivia's hand to recover to its original state. The doctor told Olivia and Alex that her fracture was shattered into small pieces, as terrifying as if it had been crushed. Olivia gritted her teeth with hatred. She hadn't expected Mia to be so crazy. Obviously, Mia had always swallowed her anger and been bullied by her before, without the ability to fight back. Before, she had always thought that Mia refused to sign the divorce agreement to trap Alex. But Mia had already signed the divorce agreement, and Alex was different now. She had dressed up so beautifully, but Alex's gaze didn't stay on her at all. Instead, he had been constantly looking at Mia, who was without makeup and looked casual. In the private room, Alex had obviously talked a lot less today. Mia's indifference to Alex had made Alex absent-minded. He wasn't interested in the food and didn't have the mood to talk to her. He had been looking absent-mindedly at the opposite private room. Olivia gritted her teeth with hatred. Needless to say, Alex was also looking at Mia. Alex had Mia in his heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't have condescended to marry Mia, who was a nobody. She couldn't let Mia stay in Alex's heart even a little bit. She wanted to make Alex completely disgusted with Mia. Olivia had always thought that by provoking Mia like this, at most she would be beaten up by Mia and make Alex dislike Mia even more. She hadn't expected that Mia would be like a different person and lock the door and be so fierce to her. Her arm would be disabled in the future and could never be the same as before. Olivia hated Mia bitterly. She couldn't let Mia have an easy life and was determined to make Mia go to jail. Olivia was seething in her heart when a message came in on her mobile phone. After clicking on it and listening to the first short part, Olivia's face turned pale. Mia had actually recorded it. Every word Mia said to Olivia had been recorded. If Mia gave this recording to Alex, Olivia knew how terrible the consequences would be. With her arm in a sling, Olivia went to Mia's ward alone. In the ward, Mia was sitting alone on the sofa eating cherries. Seeing Olivia come in, she smiled. "Here you are?" With no outsiders around, Olivia glared at Mia with resentment. "What on earth do you want, Mia? You're so shameless." "Didn't I learn my shamelessness from you?" Olivia responded, "Miss Olivia, these tricks can only be used by you on me. But I can't use them on you? Aren't you being too domineering?" "What do you mean, Mia? My request is very simple." Mia stared at Olivia's face, speaking word by word. "Get down on your knees and apologize." "Is it just to get down on your knees and apologize?" "Right. Kneel down and apologize sincerely, and I'll consider letting you go. Otherwise, I'll send the recording to Alex immediately." "I can kneel down and apologize, but you must delete the recording. You can't threaten me with it." "Don't worry, I'm not that despicable. I won't threaten you. As long as you kneel down, apologize, and admit your mistake, and I approve of your attitude, I'll forgive you. I'll also help you win Alex back." "How is that possible?" Olivia looked at Mia in disbelief. "Nothing is impossible. I only have two requirements. One is that you don't pursue my responsibility for hitting you. The other is that you make Alex give me more property when we divorce." Olivia didn't believe Maya's words, but she now had leverage in Mia's hands. As a temporary measure, she could only apologize. Olivia was someone who could stoop to conquer and immediately knelt down with a thud. Mia didn't feel any relief in her heart when she saw Olivia kneeling in front of her to apologize. This was just the beginning. The best was yet to come. Olivia's kneeling to apologize didn't mean she was willing to do so. Mia had learned to play hard to get and made Olivia suffer a silent loss. Olivia couldn't just do nothing. Fortunately, her people were not to be trifled with either, and soon they caught Mia's weakness. Olivia called Alex and asked him to come to the hospital. When Alex arrived, Olivia took the initiative to say that she wouldn't pursue Mia's responsibility. She told Alex very sweetly, "Alex, I know you have Mia in your heart. I know that what happened between you and me in the past made Mia misunderstand. It's all my fault. I'm willing to go to Mia to explain the misunderstanding clearly. I just hope you two can make up." Seeing such understanding in Olivia, Alex felt very distressed. He increasingly felt that Mia was unreasonable and incomprehensible. He comforted Olivia for a while and was about to leave the hospital. Just as he stood up, his assistant called. "Alex, the jewelry store called and said..." "What did they say? Why are you hesitating?" "They said that Madam pawned all the jewelry, including the family heirloom you gave her and the wedding ring. The family heirloom of the Alex family was only passed down to daughters-in-law. That was the rule. When Alex proposed, he personally put the heirloom jade bracelet on Mia's hand. Mia knew the importance of that jade bracelet. He clearly remembered how Mia burst into tears of joy at that time. Now she had actually pawned that family heirloom and the wedding ring, which he had personally chosen. A ring that was only given to one person in a lifetime, one for him and one for Mia. They had promised to be together forever. Now Mia had actually pawned the wedding ring? Did she really not care about him anymore? Alex couldn't believe it was true. He suspected that he had heard wrong. "What did you say? Say it again." The assistant repeated it, and Alex exploded with anger, kicking over the coffee table in the ward. Hearing his furious outburst, the assistant added cautiously, "I heard that Madame has asked Ethan to help her with the divorce lawsuit. There are rumors outside that she will marry Ethan after the divorce." I didn't stay in the hospital for long. After Olivia knelt down to apologize, I was ready to be discharged. Ethan and Luna came to pick me up. Ethan was very gentlemanly towards me. Seeing the shocking scratches on my face and fearing I would be sad, he comforted me. "Mia, I've asked the doctor about the scars on your face. He said that if you avoid spicy and pigmented foods, they will gradually recover. I've asked my classmates to buy imported ointment. Applying it should prevent scarring." When Olivia and Alex were going to sue me for the crime of intentional injury, Ethan had always firmly supported me. He said that he would help me with the lawsuit and wouldn't let me get hurt at all. I was truly grateful to Ethan for lending me a helping hand. "Thank you, Ethan." "You're welcome. It's my pleasure to do something for you." We walked to the parking lot, and Ethan opened the car door, very gentlemanly for me to get in. Suddenly, I felt someone's gaze on me. Turning around, I saw Alex. Alex looked at me as if he wanted to kill me. Seeing Alex looking at me with such hatred, I knew he felt wronged by Olivia, the mistress. After all, I had truly made Olivia, the mistress, suffer. Alex must hate me bitterly now, and I didn't want to have any contact with him anymore either. There were some things that I had to make clear to Alex. Since we had met, there was no better time than now. I walked towards Alex with my scarred face and asked him politely, "Alex, when will you give me the 5 billion yuan you promised? By the way, your lawyer said that I could choose any of the real estate and luxury cars at will. Can I go choose them now?" Alex looked at me with hatred. "You're dreaming, Mia. A vicious and shameless woman like you doesn't deserve a penny of my property." "I've changed my mind. I won't give you a penny." I stared at Alex with wide eyes. "You're going back on your word?" Alex glared at me viciously. "Yes, I've gone back on my word. I'll make you leave with nothing, not a penny for you." There was a fierce look on his handsome face. Looking at me word by word, he spoke as if he were looking at something filthy. It was understandable that Alex went back on his word. After all, what couldn't a scoundrel who cheated and kept a mistress do? Although I knew this might be the outcome, I was still shaking with anger. Seeing that I was shaking with anger, Alex didn't restrain himself at all and continued to say to me word by word, "You married me with nothing, and you'll leave with nothing. Give me back all the things I gave you, including clothes, jewelry, and bags. If you dare to be short of even one thing, I'll make you pay the price." After saying that, he left with his assistant in a huff. I was trembling all over and was so angry that I almost fainted. Luna and Ethan supported me on either side and helped me get into the car. Luna and Ethan had both heard what Alex had just said. Both of them couldn't believe it. Luna spat viciously. "Scoundrel! I've never seen such a disgusting scoundrel. He cheated and helped the mistress deal with his wife. He even wants to make Mia leave with nothing. How could he have the nerve? Since he had already cheated, what was there to be ashamed of? After all, he didn't feel the slightest bit sad when his own child was killed by the mistress. How could he possibly have any pity for me, the discarded wife? Alex said that he wanted me to leave with nothing and couldn't take anything from him. I could only choose to redeem the jewelry I had sold. I sold it for 500 million yuan, but redeeming it was different. The jewelry store asked me to pay 1 billion yuan before they would return it to me. In the end, the commotion even involved the police. I paid the jewelry store an extra 20 million yuan before I got back all the pawned jewelry. Alex had stopped my card, and the money for redeeming the jewelry was borrowed from Ethan. I hadn't originally wanted more. I just wanted Alex to give me what he had promised, but he went back on his word and wanted to make me leave with nothing. Alex didn't just cut off my money, but also prevented me from finding a job. I sent out countless resumes, but not a single company dared to hire me. In the end, I was reduced to handing out flyers on the street. I was paid 30 won per hour, but was fired by the boss after just half an hour. Without money, a job, or savings, I couldn't survive. Even worse, Alex also took action against Luna. Luna was fired. She had always been a key member of the company and was working on some projects. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible for her to be fired. There was only one reason. Alex was targeting her because he was targeting me. He was taking revenge on me for the sake of his sweetheart, Olivia. He wanted me to apologize to Olivia, but I didn't do as he asked. So Alex was determined to ruin me. They say that even a rabbit will bite when it's cornered. I'm not a rabbit, but if pushed too hard, I'll be even fiercer than a rabbit. Since this was what Alex wanted, I could only do as he wished. Wasn't it just an apology? I called Alex. This was the first time I took the initiative to contact him 60 days after I agreed to sign the divorce agreement. If nothing unexpected had happened, I would have already passed the divorce cooling off period and gone our separate ways with him. But fate is so strange. Because of Olivia, Alex tore up the divorce agreement. Surprisingly, we were still officially husband and wife. I called him a total of 14 times before he finally answered coldly, "What's the matter? Can we meet?" "I don't have time," he said. "I know you're busy. I won't take up too much of your time," I said quickly, afraid that Alex would hang up. "I know I was wrong. I'll apologize to Olivia in front of you. I'll do whatever you ask. Please just let Luna go." There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while. "I want to see your sincerity." I didn't know what kind of sincerity Alex wanted. I asked humbly, "What do you want me to do?" "Just tell me. And I promise I won't resist. Go home first and wait for me after cooking dinner." I went back to the so-called wedding room that I shared with Alex. Surprisingly, the password hadn't been changed, and I easily entered the villa. The villa was clean and bright. It seemed someone had been cleaning it all along. Since I was asking for a favor, I should act like someone asking for a favor. I bought groceries and went to the kitchen to cook a table full of delicious dishes. All the dishes were Alex's favorites. I laid the dishes on the table. Alex came back. I showed him a flattering smile. "You're back. I've cooked dinner." He sneered coldly and walked past me to the dining room. The table was filled with dishes that Alex liked. Actually, I had long forgotten what Alex liked to eat. To please Alex, I searched through my chat records with him. Finally, I figured out his preferences. Through my chat records with him, I finally figured out his preferences. Alex sat down and started eating silently. I sat beside him obsequiously and served him food. Perhaps my fawning attitude touched him, and he thought it wasn't impossible to let me off. After eating and drinking his fill, Alex put down his chopsticks and handed me a contract. I took the contract and read it carefully. The content of the contract was very clear. He wouldn't divorce me, but he would let me continue to sit in the position of his wife as Mrs. Alex. During this period, I couldn't interfere with his freedom. As a reward for me, he could restore my card usage and let me continue to enjoy the life of a wealthy lady. Of course, during this period, I had to be available at his call and couldn't have any communication with any opposite sex. The agreement was almost like the harsh conditions of a king. In Alex's eyes, I wasn't a wife, but just a decorative servant-like role. After reading the agreement, I was speechless for a moment. Alex looked down at me. "Sign it or not, can I think about it?" "Think about it? Do you still need to think about this, Mia? Don't you know how many people are waiting to be Mrs. Alex? I've already been kind enough to you." "I know. Please give me half an hour to think about it," I begged Alex humbly. Seeing that my attitude was so good, he finally agreed and went upstairs to the study. I made a cup of tea and followed him upstairs with it. After watching Alex drink the tea I gave him, I turned around and went downstairs and called Olivia. Olivia came quickly. When she arrived, she even mocked me several times. "If you had known this would happen, why didn't you agree to the divorce in the first place?" "Because I was stupid," I said indifferently. She sneered. "If you had divorced at the beginning, you could have gotten 5 billion yuan. Now, you can't get a penny. Now you can only rely on me to help you. Mia, you've shot yourself in the foot." I remained expressionless. "Miss Olivia, hurry up and transfer the money and go have fun with your sweetheart." A moment of pleasure is worth 1,000 pieces of gold. Olivia glared at me, transferred 10 million yen to me, and then quickly went upstairs. The study door opened and then closed. I sat in the living room and heard the rather loud sounds of lovemaking coming from upstairs. I looked at the 10 million yen that Olivia had transferred to me. I was beaming with joy. The next morning, Alex coldly pushed open the bedroom door and woke me up from my deep sleep. Mia, you shameless woman. Did you drug me last night? I didn't. How dare you deny it? Look at your shameless look. You've even left hickey marks all over my neck. He showed me the red marks on his neck. I lowered my eyes and didn't say a word. Alex thought I was embarrassed and arrogantly threw a pill at me. This is a contraceptive pill. Take it immediately. I don't want to see a disgusting thing like you give birth to my child. I nodded like a pestle pounding in a mortar and took the pill and swallowed it. Seeing that I was so obedient, Alex got angry again and viciously insulted me several times before leaving. In the evening, Alex came back again, so I followed the same pattern and drugged him to make him have sex with Olivia. Half a month passed like this, and Olivia sent me a message along with a pregnancy test report. Accompanied by the pregnancy test report was Olivia's arrogant message, "I'm pregnant, you can get lost." I saved Olivia's pregnancy test report and also saved every video of Olivia and Alex having sex in bed. After preparing the materials, I hired Ethan and filed a divorce petition on the grounds of Alex's extramarital affair. When Alex's lawyer received the summons from the court and went to inform Alex, he looked incredulous. Has Mia gone mad? How dare she? Madam is demanding half of your property and also says that you are the at-fault party and asks you to compensate her for mental damages. This shameless woman. How dare she? Does she think that finding Ethan will turn everything upside down? This time, I'll see what tricks she can play. On the day of the divorce hearing, Alex and I sat facing each other in the courtroom. This divorce trial was held in private. Only the judge, me, Ethan, and the lawyers of both sides were present. My lawyer, Ethan, presented the evidence of Alex's extramarital affair. When the judge started playing the videos of Alex and Olivia in bed, Alex was completely stunned. How is this possible? This is false evidence? Mia, you're so vicious. You even fabricated evidence. I ignored Alex, and Ethan continued to state, Alex has been persecuting my client mentally for a long time. Not only did he bring his mistress home and fool around in front of my client, but he also made my client prepare midnight snacks for them. My client once attempted suicide because of this, but fortunately, it was discovered in time. Alex's eyes were wide with anger, lying. He's lying? Alex, your mistress pushed my pregnant client down the stairs, causing a miscarriage. Alex protected his mistress and wanted to calm things down by agreeing to the divorce. But then he went back on his word because of the property later. The truth about Olivia's so-called broken arm came to light. The doctor provided a testimony that she wasn't injured at all and had been pretending, and my miscarriage record was clear and straightforward. After knowing about my miscarriage, Alex's face turned pale. He jumped up out of control. Miscarriage? When were you pregnant? This? Why didn't you tell me? Mia, why didn't you tell me about your miscarriage? I lowered my eyes and didn't look at him. Ethan's voice continued. Alex's mistress often threatened, cursed, and beat my client. My client suffered from depression. She was so afraid of you two that she didn't dare to say anything. Ethan took out the evidence of Olivia provoking me again. These are the videos and evidence of provocation that Alex's mistress sent to my client. The pieces of evidence were presented one by one. At first, Alex always believed that I had fabricated the videos of him and Olivia to slander him, until he watched all the videos of him and Olivia in bed. Looking at the dates on them, he couldn't believe it. How is this possible? How could it be Olivia? Wasn't it you, Mia? Weren't you the one with me? Of course not, my client. While you were having an affair with your mistress upstairs, my client was downstairs crying her eyes out and being tortured mentally by you too. Ethan sneered. All this continued until your mistress got pregnant. My client, thinking of the lost child, finally couldn't bear such inhumane torture and thus filed for divorce. Olivia was pregnant with Alex's child. The hospital issued a certificate, and Olivia also admitted that the child was Alex's. Alex jumped up, furious, and started smashing things. But his anger couldn't change anything. With conclusive evidence, Ethan coldly told him, "You'd better agree to my client's request for divorce and give her half of your property. Otherwise, don't blame others if the videos of you and Olivia accidentally get leaked." Alex left angrily and went to find Olivia. Olivia looked at him pitifully. "I'm pregnant, Alex. It was Mia who set me up to be with you." Before she could finish her words, Alex slapped her across the face. "Bitch! Who told you to fucking plot against me?" He slapped her across the face. "Bitch! Who told you to fucking plot against me? You're this insane and shameless bitch." Alex couldn't imagine that he had actually slept with Olivia. He had always thought it was Mia. He had always thought that Mia was using tricks to ease their relationship. He didn't expect Olivia to be so shameless. He didn't expect that Olivia had secretly been torturing Mia like that. He didn't expect that the child of Olivia and Mia had been pushed downstairs and died by Olivia. He didn't expect that Mia had watched him having sex with Olivia indifferently. Where was the Mia who used to get jealous and make a big fuss just because he and Olivia attended an event together? Ethan's voice echoed in Alex's ears. Mia really lost her memory. It wasn't an act. She was made to lose her memory by your mistress. She has sealed up all the past about you and her, and will never remember it again. Alex had always thought that Mia's amnesia was just an act. He didn't expect it to be true. She has no feelings for you now. Originally, she could have not hated you. But Alex, you forced her to start hating you. Mia designed all this herself. You and Olivia were having an affair upstairs while Mia was sitting in the living room. She sold you to Olivia for 10 million won. Look, you're only worth 10 million won in her eyes. Alex went crazy. He kicked Olivia downstairs. The child in Olivia's belly was gone, and her arm was also broken brutally. Alex hired people to torture Olivia every day, wanting to make her life a living hell. But no matter how crazy he went, Mia would never come back.